Hey guys, welcome back to Criminology Help for You. We're going to be talking through Unit 2, AC 1.1 and 1.2. 1.1. We're going to talk about norms, values and moral codes. So norms are the specific rules or socially acceptable standards that govern people's behaviour in particular situations. Examples of this are using cutlery, wearing shoes and queuing. For example, if you saw someone go out, go to school, let's say. If you saw someone go to school, they weren't in their uniform or they turned up in their pyjamas, that'd be going against society's norms. Values are general principles or guidelines for how we should live our lives, tell you what's right, wrong, good and bad. Examples are respect and politeness. For example, say you've just opened the door for someone and they've barged past you and swore at you and completely ignored you, they'd be going against both your values of respect and politeness. And moral codes are a set of basic rules, values and principles held by an individual, group, organisation or society as a whole. So if you look at norms, values and moral codes of society. Deviance. This is behaviour which differs from the norms, behaviour that's uncommon or unusual or out of the ordinary in some way. For example, if someone turns up to your local supermarket, I don't know, at 3 p.m. in their pyjamas, some might call that deviant, some might call that normal, but that's a bit strange. You can have different forms of deviance. You can have behaviour that's unusual and good, like risking your life to save someone. For example, people helping people in the Grenfell Tower. I guess you could say that's a form of deviance. Behaviour that's unusual and eccentric, talking to trees. If you're just out with your mates and you suddenly turn to a tree and start having a conversation with it about how you did a new ATS test, they might think you're a bit weird and you might be a bit deviant. Behaviour that's unusual and disapproved of, attacking someone for no reason. Again, you're out with your friends, you just randomly turn around and punch them in the face. Bit deviant. It depends on the society and its culture and also the historical period. So, deviant behaviour is not always criminal behaviour and vice versa. Criminal behaviour. The legal definition is an act that goes against the law. And for someone to commit a crime, they need actus reus, a guilty act, and mens rea, a guilty mind. However, strict liability states that a guilty mind is not required. However, a wrongful act is enough to convict. And it aims at regulating how businesses behaves, but can also apply to other situations. The social definition of criminal behaviour is an act which goes into the public area breaking rules or laws. Differing views. So the public have differing views of what crimes really are. Additionally, not all criminal laws are enforced. Some aren't prioritised. So if you're just out doing some antisocial behaviour in your city centre, the police aren't really going to prioritise that as much as a kidnapping or someone who's been stabbed. And also lawmaking. Not all acts that people think should be crimes have laws passed against them. So now you've got sanctions against criminals. You have summary offences, which are less serious crimes like speeding, they're tried by magistrates. Indictable offences are more serious crimes like rape or murder, tried in a Crown Court before a judge or jury. Formal sanctions against criminals include custodial sentences, which are offences which can be punished with things like imprisonment or detention in the young offenders institution. As well as this, criminals might receive community sentences, fines, police sanctions, and penalty notices. Alright, on to 1.2. So, I've done a nice little table here. That's off my teacher. How laws change from culture to culture. Polygamy is when you have more than one husband or wife at the same time. It's legal in 58 countries like India, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore and Sri Lanka. However, it's illegal in most countries like the UK, Turkey, Tunisia and the USA. This is because it's believed to violate the rights of women. Adultery is a sexual act between two people, one or both of whom are married to another person, so pretty much having an affair while you're married. It's legal in the UK, that's pretty shocking, if you ask me, but it was decriminalised in India in 2018, and it's also illegal in most Muslim countries, as well as the Philippines, Taiwan, and only 21 out of the 56 in the United States. That is mad. Cannabis use is the possession of cannabis for personal use or intent to supply or grow the substance. Some places have legalised it for recreational use, like Portugal, or for others have legalised it for medical use. So legal in the UK, possession is 5 years in prison, intent to supply is 14. How laws have changed over time. Homosexuality. In 1885, all homosexual acts between men were made criminal with a max sentence of life imprisonment. It was legalised in 1967, and the age of homosexual consent in 2000 was lowered to 16. The Wolfenden report showed there was an increase of promiscuous behaviour between gay men by 1954, and also after gathering evidence from the police, homosexual acts between two men over 21 were legalised. Gun control laws were changed following two mass shootings. In 1987, Michael Ryan killed 16 people in Hungerford, Berkshire, and in 1996, 16 children and one teacher were shot dead at Dunblane Primary School. In 1998, the Labour government banned all handguns. The gun network control was set up by lawyers, academics, and parents for victims to campaign for higher gun laws. And the Snowdrop campaign, started by bereaved Dunblane parents and friends, was a petition calling for a law change, and this received 750,000 signatures. Laws about children. 13th century, children were sent to work at an early age, and they were seen as no different than normal adults. However, the Factory Acts excluded children from paid work. In 1880, there was compulsory schooling, which ensured basic education. And in 2004, the Children Act made child welfare fundamental principle. That made child welfare the fundamental principle under the Child Protection and Welfare legislation. How laws are applied differently according to the circumstances. So, if you're a different age to someone, you commit the same crime. You get a different sentence. For example, if you're between 11 and 17, you're in the youth court. If you're over 18, you're in a proper court. Moral panics as well. Those who are convicted of minor offences, but were spoke about loads on the media, they were more likely to receive custodial sentences. And also, if a judge has a typification, which is a stereotype of a typical criminal, if they have a typification in mind and the person in court fits that, they tend to be, I forgot what it's called, punished harsher. However, there are some cases where it can be applied differently according to the circumstances. Like if a person has a mental condition, this is known as diminished responsibility. The sentence may be lowered. Someone else might have lost control. However, some judges believe that automatism, which is when crimes must be a voluntary act. So ignore this. So yeah, that's going to be all for today's video. Hope you have a great day.